Okay, I have a few questions in here. They are in English. There's no Chinese question. The first question is, may I ask, we know that the Honored One, the Buddha, got enlightenment, passed away, and I've read that, if I'm not wrong, the next Buddha, Milapusa, will be coming. Is there any relation? And do they know each other? Do they know each other already? They could have known each other already. I don't know. But the next Buddha will be Maitreya Buddha coming to this world. Our historical Buddha. You know, in human civilization, we did actually have a Buddha, a historical Buddha, written in history that we have a Buddha, 2,600 years ago, recognized by history, that exists. And once he passed away, he made a prediction that the next Buddha may be the Maitreya Buddha, which is the laughing Buddha. That's the prediction that he made. Whether they know each other or not, I don't know. You ask them. I don't know. Do they know each other? Probably they do. So that's the question. Do they know each other? Well, do they know each other already? Maybe, yeah, probably. If a Buddha has a supernatural power, have the power to predict, then they know each other already. Next, humans are social animals and meant to live with each other. Babies need their parents to love, care for them, guide them, and nurture them. The family unit is important. Humankind needs families to propagate. Why does Buddhism promote isolation and solitude? Who said that Buddhism promotes isolation and solitude? Let's break these questions into a few sections to talk about. Yes, babies need parents to love and care for them. Our norm is, the norm of morality is that parents should care for the babies, they should have a responsibility. They should guide them and nurture them. Family members should harmonize with each other and live warmly, with tender loving care, with responsibility. Yeah, that's the norm. But from the perspective of morality, that's the norm of what we're looking at. We want that way. We want a family to be warm, everybody's care-loving, it works out. But the fact is, it may not work out that way. And in many cases, it's just the opposite. Many broken families. It's just like when a young man and a young woman wants to get married, then they're going to take an oath that they want to get married. And I know that judge when I was at U of T, we have a fellow student, a professor who became a judge for marriages. And sometimes we jokingly, we talk about it, and they say 50% of them wind up in divorces. So when they get married, they want to get a good family. They want to unite, they take an oath that they will care for each other. But the fact is, proven by statistics, that only 50% of them, or sometimes it'll be less, and 50% of them wind up in broken marriages. They wind up in divorces. What you want is one thing. What it actually turned out to be is another thing. You want that norm. You want morally to work towards that harmony. But whether that you can reach that harmony is a fact of life. And the Buddhist teaching tells us that sometimes you are looking for that harmony, but you may not have it. And there's reasons for not having that harmony. Buddhism wants you to reach that harmony of morality, tender loving care, mercifulness, compassion, and all that. But sometimes it turns out that it may not be that case. Why? Then the Buddha said, there are many reasons for something not to work out. For example, relationship between husband and wife, between the dad and the children, they relate not only to this life, they could be because of previous life karma. So if for example, there's a family of a few children, the dad may particularly love the daughter and not the son. Or the son may think that that dad loves, Jeanette more than himself. Why? Because they have different unfinished businesses in previous life that they have to deal with. So the Buddha never said that we live in solitude and get away from family, get away from responsibility. Actually, the Buddha's teaching is to promote harmony within the family. But if disharmony happen, you have to know how to deal with them. If you're always thinking about harmony, when harmony doesn't come, you become grief-stricken. You become really sad. You become, because of certain events, you want to commit suicide. You sink into depression. You must prepare yourself if there's disharmony. That's what the Buddhist teaching is all about. Tell you how to react in the right way to disharmony. Because let's be factual, it may not work out. You try your best to work it out, but it may not work out. What happened if it may not work out? You're not going to revenge. You're going to use violence. You have to know how to handle it. So that's in the Buddhist teaching. The Buddha never walk away, leave the problems behind and go into solitude. No. We want to harmonize. What is meditation? Meditation is the harmony between the body and the mind, individually. When your body and mind get harmonized, what happened? There's harmony in the family. If every member of the family harmonize his or her body and mind, the whole family will harmonize. It's because of some individuals, some members of the family don't work out, that affect the whole family. That's the rotten egg in the basket of eggs, the rotten apple. And we have to do something about it. We have to learn how to forgive, how to tolerate, how to endure, how to educate. Not thinking that everything will be harmony, everything will work out. No, it may not work out. What happens if it doesn't work out? You must know how to handle it. Handle this disharmony. Work towards the harmony. So that is exactly what the Buddha is all about. Not leaving the family in isolation and solitude. Instead, compassion, forgiveness, harmony. Before you harmonize the family members, harmonize each individual first. In other words, if there's disharmony in the family, if you don't like your wife or you don't like the children, you want them to change for you, why don't you change yourself first? You've been yelling, you've been egoistic, you haven't worked out with the family chores, and you expect everybody to be better, to treat you better. You have to reform and improve yourself first. You harmonize yourself first before you require other people to harmonize everything for you. Do it within yourself first. Don't blame others. Change yourself. Some people ask the question, how come my wife is like this? How come my children is like this? How come my dad is like this? There must be reasons. Find out the reasons and get the harmony, forgiveness, compassion, so that it all work out. So Buddhism never practiced isolation and solitude. No, you get it wrong. That's not Buddhism is all about. Anybody have any ideas on this question? You want to throw in some ideas of yours? In other words, don't raise your expectation on everybody. You know why people get disharmony in the family? There are a few reasons. The major reasons are, the first one, your expectation. You always expect others to meet your internal expectation. You see your neighbor's wife, and the other wife is always better than your own. You think that, how come his wife is working in that way? How come his wife is prettier? How come his wife is more gentle? You don't know their problems. Your expectation has been egoistic and set up too high for your wife. You don't set up an expectation for yourself. Change yourself because of expectation. Everybody expects people to perform. Everybody expects people to be, to give. You only want to receive. You don't want to give. You only want to receive. You want to receive compassion. You don't give it out. Expectation. Another reason why there's disharmony is because you live together. Why do you live together? A whole family is a unit. You live together. Because you live together, you're exposed to bad habits. You're not clean, or you are impulsive, compulsive. Everybody's personality are different. Why? Every thought is different. Every thought germinates actions and speech. When that action and speech is repeated all the time, it becomes a habit. Once it's become a habit, it's all hardened up in your personality. It becomes your destiny. You don't want to change it. So you're exposed to bad habits because you live together. It's just like when a young guy and a young woman, they want to get married, they hide the defects. I remember I saw a TV commercial in Hong Kong. There were a young guy and a young woman. And they have dating, they were in courtship, they were happy, and they were ready to get married. And then at the dinner table, they really want to come to a serious chat. And the lady said, I want to tell you something. I have, what do you call it, invisible lens? What do you call that? Contact lenses. Actually, I wear thick glasses. Now I have contact lenses, so I don't look the same, Usually I wear those thick glasses because I have nearsightedness. And also, every time when I go dating with you, I put my 6-inch high heels. So he's a short lady with thick glasses. That's exactly what that man hates. So this is who I am. So she took down the contact lenses and put her thick glasses with black trims on it, and it looked different. And then the man said, I know now, but do you know who I am? And he took away his wig. It's all Mediterranean Sea. It's all Mediterranean Sea, all bolted. And not the pretty, handsome hair that he's been wearing. So they don't expose their faults. That's exactly the problem. When you're living together, you can tolerate each other. Buddhism tells you to tolerate, to endure, to forgive, to find out the real truth before you get married. Plus, there's one more thing, there's past karma. You try to lower your expectation, you try to change all your bad habits, but still your wife treats you miserably. Why? You try everything in the world to please, but your wife still treats you miserably. Why? Because you treated her miserably in your previous life. She's coming back to get you. Do you believe that? She's coming back to get you. I guess I have enough answers for this question, unless you want to throw in some of yours. Next question. Can you tell us a little bit about your own spiritual journey that requires 3 hours? How did you become a monk that requires 1 hour? What is the most difficult thing for you on the path? To answer this question. It's not easy. To put it short, my spiritual journey, I just want to be outspoken and frank with you. In my life, I have played many roles in my life, not just the role of a monk. I've been a father. I've been a son, of course. I've been a father. I'm a single mother son. I've been a son. I've been a father, and I've been a grandfather. And I got married. I was an accountant. I was a real estate broker, and I was involved in the timber business. I was involved in the restaurant business. I was involved, I don't know, I played so many roles in my life. And finally I got fed up with it, and then I became a monk. And I started the Buddhist temple in 1980. At that time I was not a monk. And I started with a piece of agricultural land of half an acre. It's a dirt, there's nothing on it, half an acre of land. And I think it's around here, half an acre. And with half an acre of land, I built it up. I didn't have any money, but I started to receive donations from everywhere by raising money. And since 1980 up to now, it's become a temple of 13 acres. And it's become a landmark of Richmond too. And spiritual journey, I've gone through a lot. I play many roles. I think the role that I'm playing right now is the best of all the roles that I've been playing. And life is short. Don't spend your life in just family enjoyment, looking for wealth, reputation, and fame. Life is about coming to an end for everybody. And if you do not practice the Buddhist teaching to get out from samsara, life and death, you subject yourself to reincarnation all the time. We got to get out from this life and death, because you'll always be in suffering if you're not out from life and death. And habitually, we have been attached to what we're doing now. We like money, we like fame, reputation. We're always struggling for money. We want happiness. We want partying. Some people are involved with women and men relationship. Some people have gambling, drug addictions, and they don't know that they were sufferings actually. We can't get away from sickness, aging, life, death. So we have to go beyond this. You have to go beyond life and death. Don't be satisfied with what you've got now. We are in suffering now. We have to get out from this prison. Do you know that we are living in prison? It's a prison that around us. We want to get out from this prison. It's just like when we are a frog in the well, and people upstairs says, jump out from the well. The frog doesn't know how big the sky is. The frog thinks that the sky is just that circle, the rim, the edge of the well. But actually there's broad freedom outside. We have to get out. We have to emancipate ourselves from reincarnations and mental afflictions. Get out from suffering. Eternally get out from suffering. Not just eternally get out of suffering for yourself, for all your folks. That's why the Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, the prince in India, he wanted to be free from suffering, not only for himself, for all his folks. He went about that spiritual journey, and he finally succeeded in getting the method for transformation of tainted consciousness into enlightenment. And they all have all these writings given to us. Are we going to study them? Are you going to study them to make sure that you're on the right path too? Imagine, what would you do in the rest of your life? Every morning you eat your breakfast, you go to work, you eat your sandwich, you pack your lunch, you go to dinner. You're doing that every day. You go on a cruise, partying, gambling, drinking. How much fun you have in that? Finally, you're dead. Aging, sickness, death. Are you satisfied with that kind of life? The Buddha was not satisfied. He wanted to say, I want to get out from this kind of living. I want to get away from life and death. I want to be in eternity. You can do the same thing. You can do it now. You don't have to wait for after death. You can do it now. If you have that chance, why do you still spend your time in what you're doing now? You're repeating the same thing every day. Plus, if you're lucky, you may have a good relationship. If you're not, you see all those words and all those relationships that wind up in what? Tragedies. And when we talk about death, I've heard about so many stories. Not only senior people die, teenagers die, adults die, babies died. Don't think about death is so remote from you. It could come up in any minute. So what are you going to do? Just spend your life in drinking and, going about making your money and not thinking about the spiritual path that you can take to get away from life and death, to get away from suffering. The Buddha introduced us a way to get away from sufferings and get to eternity of non-death. Are you going to take that path? We have to die anyway. 2 roads not taken. 2 roads waiting for you to take. Which road are you going to take? One is going into life and death for the rest of your life, for all your future life. The others is go to a spiritual journey where you transcend life and death. You can do it in this life, at this lifetime. Don't waste any more time. Don't waste any more time. Don't repeat the same mistakes all the time. Do something new. It's challenging. It's challenging to do something new while you're repeating what you're doing every day. Going to this spiritual journey, it's worth taking. Any more ideas on what I'm talking about? You want to throw in some opinion? Any challenges? No? Don't look at me like that. Just give them some challenges. Do you agree or disagree? You disagree. You agree? Okay. So are you going to take a spiritual journey? Are you going to take that spiritual journey? Huh? You don't know. You're not sure. Yeah. That's the problem. You're sure, on the other hand, you're not sure. So you still want that kind of life that you have that temporary, ephemeral, transient happiness, and you call it happiness. It could be a seed for more suffering. Next question. What is the result of enlightenment? Do you become a spirit, energy, or cease to exist? What is the result of enlightenment? The result of enlightenment, that is, you get away, you transcend life and death. Is it in the kind of spirit or in the energy or what? I don't know. But why do you always want to call it a spirit, an energy? Why do you worry about cease to exist? Existence could be a suffering itself. Existence, material existence could be a suffering itself. The result of enlightenment, the result of enlightenment is you're away from reincarnation. No more life and death. I can go a lot deeper into this, but there's not enough time. But I've been talking for a long time, so this is last questions. You always think of enlightenment is coming to a state, coming to a world, coming to something. When you attach to something, it's not enlightenment. When you worry about enlightenment coming to in existence, that's not enlightenment. Enlightenment is not a state. Enlightenment is not a place you go to. Enlightenment is not like another world. It's for the sake of calling it, it's called enlightenment. But it itself, that word does not mean that you have an object. You must possess an object. You must possess existence. It's not that. We can call it another state that transcends this one.